Okay, let's take a look at function notation. I'm going to start off with part A of this particular example, and we're going to discuss what it means to find the function evaluated at x equals 2 for each of the types that we have here. So you'll notice we have three types of function and they're different representations. We have ourselves a table of ordered pairs. We have ourselves a graph. Looks like it's a linear function. And we have ourselves a formula, or sometimes we talk about equation form. So if I want to talk about what it means to be f of 2, let me write this on the side just to jog our memories. F of 2 is asking for what is the y value when x equals 2. So just kind of another reminder, remember we always talk about y equaling f of x. So when we do see the function evaluated at a number, that number inside the parentheses is usually referring to what is the x value or the input. So if I'm looking at the table, I'm going to ask myself, what is the y value when x is equal to 2? So I can kind of talk about this in ordered pair form. Let's try that. So when x is equal to 2, what is our y value? And maybe I'll say y to help us out. So let's look at that table. I see the x value is 2, so f of x, or f of 2, this must mean f of 2 is equal to -1. So we have one of our answers. Now, if we're looking at the graph form, we can view this as, again, what happens when x is equal to 2. So I'd like to use the ordered pair. We'll find what our y value is. And so if you can view with me, I know it's a little light, but the axes, I have an x-axis over here, and I have my y-axis over here. And we care about what happens when x is equal to 2. So I'm going to find that on the x-axis, 1, 2. And I will map this up to my function. Looks like it's a linear function, and I'm going to hit that line right about here. And what I'm interested in is finding what that corresponding y value is. I'm a little shaky, but I think you guys are seeing it. That would be, the y value would be at 4. So for this particular graph, that's going to tell us that the function evaluated at 2 is equal to 4. Now, one last thing, if we are looking at a formula, if you're asked to find the function evaluated at 2, we're actually just plugging in x equals 2. So when x equals 2, I will use blue to help myself with that. Okay, so when x equals 2, we're replacing x with 2 in both cases. So we'll use the order of operations to help ourselves compute the value. 2 squared is equal to 4. And then we subtract off 5, we will get f of 2, in this case, is equal to -1. So that's how we interpret the function evaluated at 2 for each of the following types of representations of the functions. Stay tuned for the next example. We'll go over what happens when we're asked to look at part B. I'll see you then.